And it makes sense, right? These songs are lost words that I wanted to tell you, but felt like I couldn't. Or maybe I did tell you, but you didn't hear me. Hello out there in the world. I'm here today to answer a question. What are my bangs doing? But I got this comment asking about like if there's any meaning behind the name Words from a Silenced Poet, and there is lore. There's a lot of lore. Is the lore worth it? To me it is. So these songs are not only unsent letters to different people in my life, but they also very frequently mention the feeling of being unheard, misunderstood, or silenced.
The more I talk, the less I'm understood. Can you hear me when I sing? I'll pretend that this can make you listen.
The name Words from a Silenced Poet references the over 100 original songs that I wrote as a coping mechanism for when I felt like I had no safe space to speak, be heard, or understood by people in my real life. So what would happen is I would try to connect with people that I cared about in my life, and it felt like they just looked right through me, like they just did not see me at all.
There's no one for me to be,
and I was pretty desperate for any kind of connection at the time, and I wasn't ready to let go of those relationships, and in a large part I blamed myself a lot. I think that's pretty evident in the first album of this project. And so I would withstand that mistreatment and then go home and write these songs. And in writing these songs, I slowly began to develop a sense of self. The sense of self that I needed in order to break away from all of those toxic and harmful cycles. And in listening to these songs, you witness the journey of the protector becoming more and more prominent over the course of these songs being written. This project is over 100 songs. 40 of them made it onto this project and were divided into 3 albums. They represent the different stages of growth and healing that you have to go through in order to find yourself, in order to find your voice. Almost all of these songs were written over the span of 2 years, between 2019 and 2021. And at first, when I wrote these songs, I genuinely believed that no one would ever hear them. I was very insecure about how sad they sounded, but they were what I needed at the time to get through these moments. I would occasionally play them for friends, but mostly they were mine and they belonged to the walls of my bedroom. I really did see songwriting as a coping mechanism solely for the purpose of regulating the hurt, sadness, and anger that I felt so that I could work through those emotions and then return to the relationship without taking it out on them. The songs really started to pile up after a while. The more that I wrote, the better I got at songwriting. And eventually I knew that I loved these songs and I wanted to share them, but I didn't know how. I knew I didn't want to go by my actual name for several reasons. The biggest of all the reasons being that I didn't want the people that I wrote songs about to know that it was about them. Another aspect of it is that I don't even identify with a lot of these songs anymore. When I talk about these songs being written, I often reference the speaker, and it's because I just don't feel like they're mine anymore. I feel like they were written for a purpose, they served that purpose, and now they belong to you. They belong to this almost fictional being, the speaker, even though the real me wrote it at the time, and it was based off of very heavy personal experiences. A couple years ago, I really tried to sit down and think of what names for this project, what I would, perform under if I were to go a music route or something like that. And I came up with around 20 different names or so, but none of them really felt right to me. And at the same time, I felt like I didn't have the time or skill to put these songs together, and I was also too scared to share it. So it fell on the back burner for about 3 full years. One day, a couple months ago, while I was driving to work, I was listening to the voice memos of these songs on my phone, and the name came to me, seemingly unprompted, Words from a Silenced Poet. And it makes sense, right? These songs are lost words that I wanted to tell you, but felt like I couldn't. Or maybe I did tell you, but you didn't hear me. They're forgotten songs left in the archive of my journals and my phone's voice memos. It just felt perfect somehow, and so I went home and I made this channel a reality. I really do want to say thank you for being here and welcome to the project. Words from a Silenced Poet. Here lies the archive. He's a little kitty Tazo! Isn't he so sweet? He's the sweetest kitty in all the land. Woo. What do you think, Tazo? Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, enough. He says enough.